So tonight's speaker is Karen McGrath.
Ho, ho, ho!
Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming. I have a T-shirt that says we're spiritual beings having a human experience. I can relate to that because I always knew I was spirit. In fact, I always knew I was an old soul. Even as a child, I felt older than everyone else, even the adults. And I had trouble understanding other people. Sometimes I still do. How they acted, what excited them, how they dealt with death. I just couldn't understand. Human beings, how they didn't honor Mother Earth or one another, fighting for material things, judging people who were different in any way, whether it was color, religion, social status. I remember walking in the woods, and I really do remember this. I remember saying, I had just had a confrontation in the house where I grew up. I still remember walking through the woods because I could walk through the woods and the animals didn't have any reaction at all to me. I could just walk right through. But I kept saying, I am that I am. I am that I am. So even then, I knew that I was something. And I was really surprised eventually when I found it in the Bible. It was cool. I am that I am. Now there could be many explanations from my past to understand the child I was. But I came to believe that as a soul, I chose the place, chose the people, and the events that brought me to the place I am now. Sometimes I wonder about my choices, but they were really good for growing. Now, one of the sources I used to use, I did drug and alcohol counseling for years and years, and crisis. One of the sources I used was called the 10 Rules for Being Human. And I'd like to share those with you now. 10 Rules for Being Human. You might remember these.
I might.
1. You will receive a body. You may like it or hate it, but it's yours to keep for the entire period. 2. You will learn lessons. You are enrolled in a full-time informal school called life. 3. There are no mistakes, only lessons. Growth is a process of trial and error and experimentation. The failed experiments are as much a part of the process as the experiments that work. 4. Lessons are scheduled. Lessons are repeated until they're learned. A lesson will be presented to you in various forms until you've learned it. When you've learned it, you can go on to the next lesson. Learning lessons does not end. There is no part of life that doesn't contain a lesson. If you're alive, that means there are still more lessons to be learned. There is no better place than here. When your there has become a here, you will simply obtain another there that will again look better than your here. Other people are merely mirrors of you. You cannot love or hate something about another person unless it reflects to you something you love or hate about yourself. 8. What you make of your life is up to you. You have all the tools and resources you need. What you do with them is up to you. The choice is yours. 9. Your answers lie within you. The answers to life's questions lie within you. All you need to do is look, listen, and trust. 10. You will forget all this. Which is exactly what happens when we come. There's that veil and we forget. So to follow up on that, I'd like to say what I've learned in my life. And what I've learned is I've learned to listen to my intuition, my higher self, to the guidance that comes during silence and meditation, to the guidance that comes through prayer and dreams and other people, whether it's in person or music or books. And I now trust my ability to know truth. When somebody's not telling me the truth, my whole being just goes, I just know, and I know it right through the core of me. 2, to honor my physical body as God's creation, knowing the miracles that began with conception, and keep working even with the damage I've incurred over the years. I did not know how intricately put together the body is. And to study biology, I didn't study biology till I was in college. So to study biology and to see all of those things, and then see all the things that have happened, and how intricate we are with hormones and this and the stress. It's wondrous. And to just look at that, it is a miracle. And I'm so blessed to be alive. I thank the universe daily when I wake up for another day. I am so happy. I'm so happy to be here because I can cause more trouble. But I also, it's just wondrous to know that I've been given that gift. 3, I know that there's a bigger plan. Now that I know about the soul, now that I understand about the soul and the soul's plan, I can see and understand things better than I could before. There's so much more to us than this one life. I always knew deep down, I came from the Catholic tradition. And to hear them talk about the fact that, you had this one shot and that's all you got. I just couldn't make sense of it even as a little kid. The idea that God, who is so efficient at, bringing everything back, we have spring and we have summer, we have fall, we have winter, the seeds, everything is redone and energy is never wasted. How could we as souls just come here for one shot, do it or not? I couldn't understand. So the idea that we can keep coming back to learn and love and experiment sounds wonderful to me. Everything, whether it's good or bad, is temporary. This too shall pass. So no matter how good it is or how bad it is, it's only temporary. In fact, we're only temporary. So it's kind of nice to enjoy the day. I learned to love unconditionally. When I was coming up, everything had a string to it. Somebody would love me, but there was a string to it. I will love you if. I will love you when. I will love you. That. So to love unconditionally, I learned to love myself and others. If I don't love myself, I have nothing to give anyone else. My cup has to be filled. I have to love myself. And it was hard to learn. After I got sober 26 years ago, and I had been sober several years. I was still carrying guilt and pain and all kinds of things, and I was working And this lovely minister came in on Sundays to provide service for the women where I worked. And he looked at me and said, "So, you think you're bigger than God?" "What?" He said, "God forgave you. God loves you unconditionally. You think you're bigger than God? Why can't you forgive yourself?" Ooh. Big lesson. That was one of my biggest lessons. I'm not bigger than God. And I learned there. In fact, this is a year of self-love and compassion. Compassion is extremely difficult too. So if I can provide myself with that, I can provide it with everyone else. I dictated it the year of self-love and compassion.
I was gonna ask, like, what number is that?
Me. Now, I was told that I was being selfish when I was learning to love myself, the real me. But number one, I had this great counselor who said to me, it's just being full of yourself, just learning to be yourself. When you're being selfish, you're being full of yourself. Cool, I like that. But then I also found out that when people accuse you of being selfish, it's just because you're not doing what they want you to. So I went, oh, okay, I'm not taking your bait anymore. No, sorry. And it's so much fun if somebody throws something out at you and they think that you're going to grab onto, whatever the insult was or whatever, and you just let it go by. I've seen people's faces change because you didn't react the way they wanted you to. It was wonderful. Yeah, so don't take the bait. Yeah. And what I learned is that we're all energetic beings with a spark of the divine that can shine brighter and brighter and brighter. When I walk down the street, or when I did groups, or I do different things, I see people's souls. I don't see their size, I don't see their color, I don't see where they've come from, I don't see their education, whether they have money or not. It doesn't mean anything to me. But I see them souls. And when I see them walking down the street and they're all bent over, I send them blessings because they don't know how magnificent they are. They have no idea that they have a spark of the divine inside. They have no idea how much they're loved. And I learned that we have the energy to heal ourselves and others, physically, mentally, and spiritually. We can do it. Our cells are listening. Our bodies are listening. Our bodies are happy if we actually talk to them and love them. They do. They're just delighted. But it's so wonderful to know that we can send healing, whether they're with the person, without the person. We can send it anywhere because it goes where it's supposed to. All we have to do is send it. And when I forget, sometimes I forget what I am and who I am. Yeah, because it's that human part. I remind myself that I'm here now as a representative for the Creator. I am a representative for God. If you think of yourself like that, you're pretty important. I am the eyes, ears, voice, mind, heart, hands and feet for God right here. Then I ask, how can I be of service? Where would you have me go? What would you have me do? What would you have me do? Say to whom? That's how I spend my day. How do you want me to spend my day? And then I listen. Short but sweet.